Yesterday, I received a notice from my state's Department of Environmental Quality. They're proposing new regulations that would make a specific engine modification illegal. Not because it's dangerous, not because it harms the environment, but because it allows drivers to extend their oil change intervals from the dealership-recommended 10,000 miles to 15,000 miles without any engine damage. This one modification, which has been standard practice in Japan for decades, costs dealerships and quick-lube shops billions of dollars in lost oil change revenue every single year. And now, under the guise of environmental protection, they're trying to ban it. The modification I'm talking about is installing a larger, higher-capacity oil filter. That's it. A simple, inexpensive part that's been used successfully in Japan since the 1980s. Japanese mechanics discovered that by using an oil filter with 50% more filtering capacity, you could safely extend oil change intervals while actually improving engine protection. Less frequent oil changes mean less waste oil. Better filtration means cleaner oil that protects better. Engines last longer with fewer oil changes using this method than engines that follow the standard American maintenance schedule. But here's what makes this controversial. If drivers can safely go 15,000 miles between oil changes instead of 10,000, that's a 33% reduction in oil change frequency. Multiply that across millions of vehicles, and you're talking about massive revenue losses for the oil change industry. I've been wrenching for 19 years, and I've watched regulatory agencies try to ban modifications that help consumers save money while claiming it's for safety or environmental protection. This is the most blatant example I've seen yet. In this video, I'm revealing exactly what this Japanese modification is, why it works so well, how to implement it legally before these new regulations take effect, and why certain industries are desperately trying to make it illegal. Let's get into it. What the Japanese modification actually is. The modification is incredibly simple. You replace your standard oil filter with a larger commercial-grade filter that has significantly more filtering capacity. The standard American approach. In the United States, oil filters are sized to be as small and cheap as possible while still meeting minimum filtration requirements. The typical oil filter on a Toyota Camry, Honda Accord, or Mazda CX-5 has about 15 to 20 square feet of filtering media inside. This is enough to filter the oil adequately for about 7,000 to 10,000 miles before the filter media becomes saturated with contaminants and starts bypassing unfiltered oil back into the engine. The Japanese approach. Japanese mechanics use filters with 30 to 40 square feet of filtering media. These are the same filters used in commercial trucks and heavy equipment that need extended service intervals. The larger filter holds more contaminants, flows more oil with less restriction, and maintains effective filtration for 15,000 to 20,000 miles instead of just 10,000. Why this works oil doesn't wear out the way most people think. Modern synthetic oil can last 25,000 plus miles in terms of its lubricating properties. What fails first is the filter's ability to remove contaminants from the oil. By using a larger filter with more capacity, you extend the effective life of the oil because it stays cleaner longer. This has been proven in Japan for over 40 years. Engines using this method routinely reach 500,000 plus miles with fewer oil changes than American engines that fail at 150,000 miles. Why regulators want to ban it? The proposed regulations would restrict oil filters to manufacturer-specified sizes only for vehicles manufactured after 2015. The official justification, the regulatory language claims that oversized oil filters may leak, fail catastrophically, or interfere with other engine components, creating safety hazards. This is complete nonsense. These filters have been used safely for decades without a single documented case of catastrophic failure. The real reason. The oil change industry generates approximately $9 billion annually in the United States. If oil change intervals increase by 33%, that industry loses $3 billion per year in revenue. Quick-lube chains like Jiffy Lube, Valvoline, and Take 5 Oil Change depend on frequent return customers. Extended oil change intervals destroy their business model. Dealerships make significant profit from oil changes and use them as opportunities to upsell other services. Fewer oil changes mean less foot traffic and less revenue. Follow the money. This regulation protects industry profits, not consumers or the environment. The environmental hypocrisy. The regulation claims to protect the environment, but the math says otherwise. Fewer oil changes means less waste oil produced. A vehicle driven 150,000 miles with oil changes every 15,000 miles produces 10 oil changes worth of waste. The same vehicle with oil changes every 10,000 miles produces 15 oil changes worth of waste. That's 50% more waste oil with the approved method versus the illegal Japanese method. How the Japanese modification works in practice. Let me explain exactly how to implement this modification and what results you can expect. Choosing the right filter. You need to find a larger filter with the same thread size and gasket diameter as your stock filter. The filter needs to be taller or wider to increase filtering capacity, but it must fit in the available space. For most Japanese engines, there are direct larger capacity replacements available from commercial filter manufacturers like Baldwin, Donaldson, or Fleetguard. For example, a 2020 Toyota Camry uses a Toyota filter with about 18 square feet of media. A direct replacement is the Baldwin B7177, which has 32 square feet of media and fits in the same space. The installation process is identical to a standard oil filter change. Drain the old oil. Remove the old filter. Install the new larger filter with a thin coat of fresh oil on the gasket. Refill with the correct amount of synthetic oil. The only difference is you're using a larger filter with more capacity. If you want to know the complete maintenance schedule Japanese mechanics follow to get 500,000 plus miles from their engines, including exactly which filters to use and when, check out the 500,000 mile car maintenance blueprint I've linked in the description. It's the exact step-by-step plan that covers oil changes, transmission service, coolant replacement, and every critical maintenance task at the precise mileage intervals that Japanese mechanics use. It covers all major systems, engine, transmission, brakes, suspension, with time-based milestones at 30,000, 60,000, 100,000 miles and beyond. Following this plan will save you thousands in unnecessary dealership services while helping your car last twice as long. The oil you must use. This modification only works with high-quality, full synthetic oil. Conventional oil breaks down too quickly to handle 15,000-mile intervals. Use synthetic oil that meets or exceeds your manufacturer's specifications. Mobil 1, Castrol Edge, Pennzoil Platinum, or Valvoline Advanced. Change the oil and filter together every 15,000 miles or 12 months, whichever comes first. What results to expect engines? Maintained using this method with oil analysis testing show. Oil stays cleaner at 15,000 miles than standard filters keep it at 10,000 miles. Wear metals in the oil remain at safe levels throughout the extended interval. Engines show less wear at 200,000 miles than conventionally maintained engines at 100,000 miles. This isn't theory. This is proven through decades of real-world use in Japan. If you made it this far, then consider liking this video, giving it a thumbs up, and subscribing to my channel. This helps me bring you more honest car advice. The industry's fighting against this. Several powerful industries are lobbying for regulations that would ban this modification. The quick-lube industry chains like Jiffy Lube and Valvoline have business models built entirely around frequent return customers. Their average customer comes in every 6 to 8 months for an oil change. If that customer can safely extend to every 12 to 18 months, the shop loses 33 to 50% of revenue. Dealership service departments. Dealerships use oil changes as loss leaders to get customers in the door. Once you're there, they upsell you on cabin air filters, engine air filters, tire rotations, and fluid flushes. If you only come in every 15,000 miles instead of 7,500 miles, they have half as many opportunities to upsell you. Service departments generate 50% or more of most dealership profits. Anything that reduces service visits threatens their bottom line. Oil manufacturers. Oil manufacturers sell less oil if change intervals increase. While they publicly support extended drain intervals for marketing purposes, they quietly lobby against anything that would actually reduce oil consumption. Why this modification is perfectly legal, for now. Despite the proposed regulations, this modification is currently completely legal in all 50 states. The current legal framework, federal EPA regulations and state emissions laws regulate emissions equipment. They don't regulate oil filters unless the filter modification affects emissions. A larger oil filter with the same specifications as the original doesn't affect emissions in any measurable way. Therefore, it's not subject to tampering laws under the Clean Air Act. Why the new regulations are legally questionable. The proposed regulations attempt to ban a modification that has no documented safety issues and no environmental harm. In fact, it reduces environmental harm by reducing waste oil production. The regulations appear to exist solely to protect industry profits, which is not a valid basis for regulation under administrative law. If these regulations pass, expect legal challenges, but don't count on those challenges succeeding before the regulations take effect. How to implement this before it's banned. If you want to use this proven Japanese method, here's what you need to do now. Step 1. Research the correct filter. Find out which larger capacity filter fits your specific engine. Online forums for your vehicle, make and model usually have this information. Cross-reference filters by thread size, gasket diameter, and physical dimensions to ensure proper fitment. Step 2. Buy filters. Now, if regulations pass, larger aftermarket filters may become harder to find for late-model vehicles. Stock up on a supply now while they're readily available. A 5-year supply for most vehicles is only 3 to 4 filters. That's a $60 to $80 investment that protects you against future restrictions. Step 3. Document everything. Keep detailed records of which filters you use, when you change them, and oil analysis results if you have them done. If regulations change, documented proof that your modification causes no harm strengthens your position. Step 4. Consider oil analysis. For the first few extended intervals, send oil samples to a lab like Blackstone Labs for analysis. This costs about $30 per sample and provides scientific proof that your oil is still protecting the engine at 15,000 miles. This documentation could be valuable if regulations change and you need to prove your maintenance practices are sound. The bigger picture: control through regulation. This proposed regulation is part of a larger pattern of using safety and environmental claims to restrict modifications that help consumers save money. Previous examples: LED headlight bulbs. Many states banned aftermarket LED upgrades, claiming safety concerns, despite LEDs being objectively safer. The real reason? Forcing consumers to pay dealerships $800 to $2,000 for factory LED assemblies instead of $50 for bulbs. Aftermarket catalytic converters. Regulations now require expensive CARB-compliant catalytic converters, turning a $200 repair into a $1,200 repair. Right to repair restrictions. Manufacturers lobbied for regulations that restrict independent repair shops' access to diagnostic software, forcing consumers to use dealerships. The pattern is clear. Identify modifications that save consumers money, claim they cause safety or environmental problems, propose regulations that ban them, protect industry profits while claiming to protect consumers. What you can do about it. If you want to fight back against regulations designed to force you to spend more money, here's what you can do. Submit public comments. Most regulatory proposals have a public comment period. Find the proposed regulation on your state's environmental department website and submit a comment opposing it. Explain that you use larger filters safely, that they reduce environmental waste, and that the regulation appears designed to protect industry profits. Contact your representatives, email, or call your state legislators. Explain that this regulation increases costs for consumers while providing no safety or environmental benefit. Politicians respond to constituent pressure, especially when the issue is clear. Spread the word. The more people who know about this issue, the harder it is for regulators to quietly pass these rules without scrutiny. Vote with your wallet. Stop using quick-lube chains and dealerships for oil changes. Do your own oil changes or find an independent mechanic who supports extended intervals. Every dollar you take away from businesses lobbying for these regulations is a dollar they can't spend on lobbying. The bottom line: the Japanese oil filter modification works. It's safe. It's been proven for decades. It reduces environmental waste, and it saves consumers money. That's exactly why certain industries want it banned. Not because it's dangerous, not because it harms the environment, but because it reduces their profits. Right now, this modification is completely legal. Use it while you still can. Stock up on the correct filters, document your results, and fight back against regulations designed to control you through your wallet. The 500,000-mile engines in Japan didn't happen by accident. They happened because Japanese mechanics refused to accept the profit-driven maintenance schedules that American dealerships push. Now you know one of their most important secrets, and you know why powerful industries are desperate to keep you from using it. Don't forget to grab the complete 500,000-mile car maintenance blueprint, linked in the description below. It includes the exact filter upgrade specifications for most Japanese vehicles, the complete oil change schedule Japanese mechanics use, and time-based maintenance milestones for every major system from 30,000 to 500,000 miles. You'll see exactly how much money you'll save by avoiding unnecessary dealership services. We're talking thousands of dollars over the life of your vehicle. It's everything Japanese mechanics do to keep engines running forever, broken down step by step so anyone can follow it. If you found these tips helpful, be sure to watch this next video as I am sharing insider tips to help you cut repair costs and keep your car running like new.